I had a cup of wine with Galileo once. He remains one of the greatest examples of human genius I've ever seen over my 21 centuries of life. And one of the bravest. Think of the giant, hairy stones he must have had to stand up to the Catholic Church back when they routinely toppled monarchs and killed people for the glory of their God. Who let me buy him a shot of whiskey in Arizona once, by the way, and who did not feel particularly glorified by any murders, let alone the ones committed in his name. To look at the whole of Christendom and call bullshit on their geocentrism, despite their threats, took some iron guts. And he didn't give a damn that nobody wanted to believe him at first. I have math. He told me over the rim of his cup. He gestured to it as he spoke. And the numbers are like this fine vintage we are enjoying. Verifiable, observable, existing independent of us, and caring not one whit about human faith. Stellar guy, that Galileo. Ha! My puns remain execrable, alas. Eventually, the Church had to admit that Galileo was right, and admit also, long after his death, that his life and work had been a fulcrum on which the world pivoted. The flourishing of the sciences that used his methods brought many wonders to humanity. Many evils, too. I am beginning to wonder now if I might not also be such a fulcrum for good and evil, even if I've labored to remain anonymous. I have endeavored for much of my long life to keep myself out of histories, all the while putting more and more history behind me. For much of my 2,000-plus years, I did not feel I was building to some grand climax, or accomplishing anything but my continued survival, but recent events have caused me to reevaluate. According to a nightmarish visit from the Morrigan, Ragnarok will begin in the next few days, and it won't end well for anyone, because apocalypses tend not to include happy endings. Perhaps I can still do something to minimize the damage. No matter what I do, though, it cannot erase the fact that it wouldn't be happening at all had I not slain the Norns and unchained the Norse pantheon from their destinies. I am almost entirely to blame, and the guilt is already a 9-ton albatross about my neck. I don't think I'm going to get an easy gig afterward like Coleridge's Ancient Mariner did either. Telling your tale to random wedding guests is a pretty mild punishment for economy-size cock-ups. It is fortunate that I have a friend able to shoulder such burdens and make me forget for a while that they're there.
So, tell me more about your plans for this meat and gravy bar, Atticus.
Oberon said as he placed his paws against a bound tree in Tasmania prior to shifting home to Oregon. My Irish wolfhound was expecting a proper feast before I went off to battle gods and monsters and assorted demons from the world's pantheons, and he'd challenged me to supply a meat bar for him, Orla, and Starbuck, our new Boston Terrier, in the style of salad bar buffets. We'd adopted Starbuck during a stint of crime fighting in Portland that Oberon pompously called the case of the purloined poodle.
Is it going to include all of the meats I will one day include in the Book of 5 Meats? Or are you going to just have the traditional stuff?
The 5 meat categories will be represented, I assured him.
And the gravies? There will be more than one kind, right?
Of course. Didn't you have a maxim about this?
Oh, it's the best line from the Communist Manifesto by that guy Carl that you told me about. From each according to his ability, to each according to his meat.
I think you're misquoting, Oberon. It's supposed to be to each according to his need.
Well, I need that quote to be about meat, Atticus, so I fixed it.
Choosing to keep Oberon carefully insulated from double entendres has proven to be endlessly entertaining. An excellent job, too. We can't possibly be interpreted to mean anything else but what you meant. Here we go. I shifted us home to our cabin near the Mackenzie River in the Willamette National Forest, and Oberon immediately shouted mentally to the other hounds once we arrived.
Hey, Orla, Starbuck, we're home, and guess what? Atticus is gonna make us a meat and gravy bar.
Starbuck's higher-pitched voice replied immediately with his limited vocabulary.
Yes, food,
he said. This sounds like one of the best human inventions since the sausage grinder, Orla added, and both of them exploded through the doggy door to greet us, Orla trailing behind because she was very pregnant and close to delivering.